Jacob
Corver Drive. '23 Audi RS.
e-tron GT with launch control.
Okay, that's fast, but not as fast as these SanDisk Professional SSD drives.
We use these all the time for all of our data transfer on this channel.
This has USB-C 3 and Thunderbolt.
And up to 3,000 megabytes per second read and 25,000 write.
So that's probably faster than this. And big shout out to SanDisk Professional NDV Shop for making sure we always have good drives for all our stuff, and make sure you get some SanDisk Professional drives too for all of your backup needs, whether it's family photos or work.
And should we get to the horsepower and torque?
Horsepower and torque.
590 horsepower, 612 pound-feet of torque from an 84 kilowatt-hour battery with 2 electric motors and a 2-speed transmission, and up to 637 horsepower during launch control.
That was pretty impressive. Look, look, look.
Yeah, it doesn't stay when we're not launching. Here, floor it right now, floor it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this whole video is going to be us defending why the Audi RS e-tron GT is the best electric car ever, and you should buy it over everything else, and we're gonna give you all the reasons why.
Yeah, so we drove this about a year ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, but since then a lot more EVs have come out, so we have a lot more EV experience from luxury brands like Mercedes with the EQS products, and this somehow is still the best.
Let's start with the looks. Does it look like a Batmobile?
Yes.
Does everybody love the looks of it?
I think so, I do.
In black, it is like the most low-key, unoffensive, cool, fast electric car ever.
And we have different wheels on this one, and Audi wheels are always really nice, but I think I like the ones that we had previously more than these ones.
These ones match the black. Audi pretty much never misses.
No.
They're great. And right now there's a Continental promotion going on for truck and SUV tires, so click the link in the description below for more details.
For your Continental recommended tire.
I don't know which ones I like more, but I love them. They don't look as good spinning.
Ah, yes, that's exactly it.
And then it's cool having black on black, because the front bumper is black on the RS e-tron GTs, where it's gray on the not fast ones.
Yeah.
And I think those can look kind of awkward sometimes, but all blacked out, this looks perfect.
Yeah, and then we also have a frunk up front, and it's not very large, but it does exist. And then our trunk is not a hatch.
Yeah, it's pretty small back there. Went to
Yeah.
Home Depot, could barely fit some stuff in there, but you can fold the seats down, it's good. And the front opens up with a button on the side of the door, which is really interesting. So if you put stuff there, a would-be thief might not be able to find it, because we needed to YouTube how to find it to open it.
We completely forgot, even though we already reviewed this car. That's the extent of our memories. But the whole car just generally looks really, really good, especially the headlights. You keep saying that it kind of reminds you of a Camaro,
Yeah.
and I can kind of see that.
The new ugly Camaro, that Panther Camaro that's RIPing that nobody likes.
Yeah, but I mean, this looks really good.
Look, it looks great. And
Yeah.
then I love that we have a sunroof now instead of a carbon fiber roof.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved the carbon, but it's nice having
It's
this
so
extra
nice having
light.
light, but it would be nice if it was like a covered, like those ones that electrostatic. or whatever.
But this one's also a $0 option, so you can delete a lot of it probably saves the company money if you option this.
And we got a ton of carbon fiber.
Yes, all matte, which you like.
I meant on the outside.
Okay, it's matte there too, isn't it? Damn it, it's gloss right there.
Open your eyes, bud. Okay, and then we should probably listen to it from the
Inside?
outside.
Outside.
Inside. Not offensive inside.
Oh, it's nice.
It's just normal thing, and you can tone that down and turn it off through your individual modes and all that stuff. And then that launch was with 50% battery left.
Yeah, so it's still launching very hard.
Yeah, and then with 50% battery, if I floor in dynamic, still totally annoying as the passenger. And if I put it to efficiency,
Oh, much less.
much more reasonable. And then no pumped in audio. Listen.
Just sounds like a very natural electric whirring.
Okay, and then what is the range of this?
Up to 373 kilometers.
And it's the 800 volt architecture like the Taycan, so it can charge really fast on level 3, right?
Can theoretically.
And then, as always, I go to the Electrify Canada Toronto Premium Outlets, and they're repairing it. And then the guy was telling me, he's like, yeah, there's a guy from California here fixing it. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. He's like, it's been out for the last 3 months. I'm like, that's interesting. He's like, they always overheat because people charge and they can't keep up and the parts break. I'm like, that's interesting. And he's like, the guy doesn't have the part here. He's just investigating. I'm like, wow. And he's like, we repair these more than anyone else. I'm like, What?
Yeah.
This is, okay, you're not going to be able to charge these in real life ever. They always break. Every charger that you go to, it's like never working. I went to an Electrify Canada in Hamilton with the Aria. Remember that?
Yep.
I charged next to a guy in an RS e-tron GT who was on the 350. He was getting like 80 kilowatt an hour, and I was getting like 113.
Yeah.
And he was paying the full rate, and I was paying the discount rate, if not free.
But he's rich.
And I asked him, I'm like, why are you charging here at 8 in the morning? He's like, oh, they're redoing my driveway, so I couldn't leave it in the garage. I figured I'd charge it and get a coffee. So like, if you're redoing your driveway and you own an RS e-tron GT, that's like a $150,000 job. So like, rich people don't care.
No, probably not.
Just charge it at home or don't care at all. I don't know.
Yeah, and to be fair, to no one, is that the charger that Yuri goes to, that we go to, is the only 350 charger in a reasonable distance from us.
Yeah.
There's not many of these things around here.
We just drove by a Buick.
Yes,
See
we
that?
did. Yeah, dude.
I told you they
One
exist.
Buick today.
Yeah, so that's my charging rant. Like, you're not going to be able to charge it anywhere, and don't bother. And I don't even know if they've switched to Tesla yet or they're going to twist. No, they're probably not going to because it's a Volkswagen company.
Exactly. Electrify Canada, they probably want to stay with their standard or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
But,
you know what? Rich people don't care. They're not going to drive it that far. You know, they take one of their other cars.
yeah, exactly.
For a road trip.
Yeah.
All right, now like 70% through Cliche Corner
70% of your driving, not the battery charge.
of how much I want to put into it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's definitely pretty quick. Lots of tire squeal, some understeer there.
Okay, it's like the same electric-y car thing where you like blast through and slow down and blast out.
Yeah.
Where I much preferred that RS6. I was thinking about that. Like,
Yeah.
that would be fun. I love gas Audis,
Yes.
RS Audis through Cliche Corner.
Exactly.
But I mean, these launches are killer in non-gas Audis, so I guess it's your turn to launch it.
Launch it.
As always, Audi cup holders are too grippy. It is very inconvenient, but let's see if the Audi can hold it to my chest sideways.
Oh, okay, ready?
No. Oh, I spilled it on my shirt. Wow, Audi.
That is dedication to the bit.
Audi, you let me down.
Okay, so 0 to 60, 0 to 100 in around the low 3-second range, and it'll do that all day, probably until turtle mode or whatever it goes into. When the
Until you
battery's
get
dead.
stuck at a 350 charge.
Yeah. You just go home, charge on your rich people charger, because you probably have an electro charger at home anyways. But yeah, this car is great. And why it's the best one that we've driven, I've got so many ways. Okay, the infotainment. Normally I don't like to talk about that, but in Audis, I love to talk about that, especially in e-tron GTs, because we got the climate controls, it's all hard buttons. Everything that every other company screws up, they get right in this car.
And in comparison to its sister car, the Taycan, we can actually control our vents, which I actually did like 9 times today because it's hot and you just want like the perfect, you don't want too much cold.
Yeah, and then we got to blow air onto our cameras. You don't want to do that through the infotainment. Like, it's really well laid out. We got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto.
Wired wireless, thank you for the option.
That is literally perfection.
You can change how the gauge cluster looks through the infotainment here. You got your charging settings. You got so much good stuff. You can change your recuperation and all that stuff.
Dude, a hard button in an electric car, right
climate?
down, no, for
For
turning
climate,
off traction
sorry,
control.
traction, that's what I meant.
Yeah, traction control right there, and then drive select, like
Hard
all the
button.
stuff that every company screws up. Like, look at a Mercedes EQS, the amount of screens. Like, you would have a screen over there showing some like hunchback car that doesn't even exist, and then this one just like, I don't even know what this is.
I know. It's actually so perfect. And like the steering wheel buttons, even though they're gloss black, you're rich, you don't care. And like they work really well. And we have 2 hard buttons for parking assist, and we have a hard button for parking. Like the shifter thing, I got used to it.
And then this gloss black does suck, but again, you're rich.
The-
It would still bother me. Just saying.
The volume thing is kind of weird, how you spin it like an iPod.
Yes.
And then both our cell phones now fit in this cell phone holder because now you have a smaller cell phone.
Exactly, they didn't change the size. The next thing I love about this car is the paddles. We have plus and minus for the regenerative braking. It is not one pedal driving.
Recuperative.
Whatever, regenerative, same thing. And it works really well. It's not very aggressive at all because Audi, Porsche has determined that apparently coasting is the way to go. And I like coasting. It's a pleasant experience in an electric car.
I set it to auto, and I accept that when I'm in a Taycan or an RS e-tron GT, that there is no one pedal driving, and that's fine.
And the next best part is cliche corner in electric cars that are Audis because they handle so well. They do tend to understeer, but they are still so fast, and it's just the old stab and go in electric cars and just hear the tire squeal. And here we go. It's just understeer.
It's not pleasant, man.
It's
not pleasant.
It's not compared to a gas car, but compared to other EVs.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That's the thing.
Like, give me that EV6 GT instead of this.
Oh, because drift mode. Yeah, that was cool.
And then this was great though. I was on the highway and there was like a truck turning, and I'm like, before he turns, I'll just split the gap with his power, and that was nice. And I did see a Prowler on the road. First time I've seen a Prowler since I bought my Prowler while driving, and I ripped up to him. He gave me a thumbs up, and I gave him a thumbs up, and then he ripped it. It didn't really sound that good, and it didn't go that fast out. But then I pulled up next to him, and I tried to floor it out, but I was already going like pretty fast, so like it didn't have that like V8. You know, if it was an RS6, it would have pulled harder.
Yeah, exactly, because at highway speed's a little bit slower.
Yeah, you're like, oh, what the hell's that initial head?
Speaking of highways and distances, one of my friends who is a real estate agent bought a Taycan. Now, he had some problems with it over the winter, wouldn't charge here and there, and then distance-wise, his distance was cut so hard in the winter that he couldn't make it to certain client meetings.
Dang.
So like
he sold it?
He potentially, well, not yet, but he's thinking about getting a gas car now. He really likes the car, like a lot, but it's just the distance thing. If these things had more range, I think he would be okay with it. Because you got to cut that, not in half, but like quite a lot in the winter.
You want to know what my real estate buddy bought?
What's that?
A manual Z011LE.
Ah, sick. All right. Yeah, all right. Well, your agent wins over mine in terms of car buying. Sorry, buddy.
Let's give them their shout outs, their business cards.
Yeah.
Who's got the better real estate photo? And I guess let's see if these visors. Oh God, I feel actually so sick now. I gotta hate electric cars. 3.
I thought you were gonna throw up there. I was gonna let you.
I'm borderline about to throw up with the heat.
It is hot.
Oh no, I will if you do. No, I don't want to throw up. All right,
I don't want to clean it.
I could probably throw up if you didn't.
If we had a set of TuxMat in here, I would just keep doing it.
Yeah, I'll throw up on the TuxMat.
And then this Audi has adaptive air suspension, which is very comfortable. We're in dynamic right now, and it's glorious.
Yeah, it's super comfy, nothing weird. And then I forgot to mention that we got 2 charge ports, one for faster, one for slower at the front.
Yes. Oh, and then the steering is also great. This car is just overall better than a Taycan and every other EV for practical reasons, because this feels like a normal car that just happens to be electric, kind of like a BMW i4, except this does that even better.
For rich people practicalness.
Exactly.
Whereas if you're like normal money practicalness, like Bolt EV.
Yeah, that was pretty good for what it cost.
So Jacob, do you fit in the back of this car?
Not really, although it feels like I might have slightly more room for my head with this panel roof, but then my head still hits the back.
But in the driver's seat?
Oh, it's great here. The seats are great. We got massage, we got heated and cooled, lovely. And if you are daily driving one of these things, or a Taycan or whatever in the winter, you definitely want to protect your carpets with a set of TuxMat.
And I guess you would daily drive one of these or a Taycan in the winter, because a lot of them are all-wheel drive. Well, except like these are all-wheel drive. The Taycans are all-wheel drive, except for that one special Taycan that's not.
In Canada.
In Canada, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're driving these in Canada, I'd definitely get a set of TuxMat, or even in the States, because yes, the United States still has sand, still has mud, still has dirt.
Yeah, they have snow too.
Oh, I know, I'm just saying. They got lizards.
They probably have.
Do we have lizards in Canada? I don't think we do. We got snakes, poisonous ones.
Let us know. Let us know if we have lizards in Canada. And also, if you're leaving a comment I guess it's too late in the video. Go back and edit your comment and put the emoji flag of whatever country you're from, so we know where you're commenting from. Shout out that guy who shout outs from Jamaica.
Yes, Portland, Jamaica in the house. We see your comments. So I think that's it with this car. It still remains the best EV that you can buy in our opinion.
If I was rich and didn't want to be flashy and I need an electric car, 100% this.
Same.
Let's get to the price.
This one starts at $188,350.
Canadian.
And this one is $195,740.
That's like pretty much the same price as repaving your driveway if you're rich enough to own one of these.
I mean, yeah. You would also probably end up with a pretty nice driveway.
They probably don't use asphalt. They probably use like nice stone designs.
Oh, and they probably have like heated
and concrete, and then probably a spinning table.
Yeah.
Yo,
this is our imaginations of
what rich people live like.
Exactly. But if you are that kind of person, or maybe you're shopping for something a little bit cheaper, go to tsp.truecar.com for discounted price offers.
So over a year later, would you take this over an R8?
No.
I switched my decision to an R8 for sure.
I said R8 then, and I'm still saying R8 all day.
This over a Taycan.
The thing that sucks is that the R8 is actually gone.
No, I meant like an old R8.
Okay, but like the new R8 is now gone. Like V10s are gone, Challenger V8s are gone. Like,
wait, are they gone for 24, 23?
Next year, everything's gone.
Is it 23?
Yeah.
23 versus 23.
I'm just saying that it sucks that everything's gone.
Yeah, old cars still exist.
Yeah.
They're just gonna get cheaper. We can afford them then.
They're only gonna get more expensive.
It's a great idea. Bro, you've never even bought a brand new car at all in your life of anything.
I can't afford anything new.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter to us.
Yeah.